Welcome back to Earth. So, I know that I said you just breathe through your nose and always, like you normally should, unless you're doing a specific exercise through your mouth. So, during this exercise, we were really like clearing things out. We were letting go of that stress. And so that's why we were breathing through the mouth. So, this is just a short daily somatic practice. You can take 10 breaths, do a little breath hold, and take 10 breaths on the down regulation, however you want it. Essentially, your body knows. And so, just trusting yourself and just listening to yourself will take you as deeply as you can go.
Amazing. Thank you, Lucas.
Can I just say before we continue, like that was so refreshing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mind Valley. Lucas, are you familiar? Yeah. So this really reminded me of like the practices that we also do over there, and it was so nice to go back to that peaceful space because I do have some practices that are like happening on a daily, but a breath work is not one of them. So it was very great to step into that relaxing space. And thank you so much for guiding us through it. It was really, really great.
My pleasure. Yeah, that's so good to hear. And I love breath work because you can always do it. You can do it in any situation while you're lying in bed going to sleep, while you're waiting in line, while you're sitting in the car, when you're, looking at a blank screen and you have writer's block or you don't know how to proceed or you're just a little stressed. You can just take a couple of moments to breathe. And just that awareness, putting your awareness on your breath, it will help you like come into more balance, into connection with yourself and like how to proceed. So super simple. You don't need guidance just from yourself. And so thank you for sharing that. I just want to, I love breathwork because I think it's available to everyone. And when people breathe better,
Yeah.
they live better, and then we can show up as our best selves.
Hmm. Well said.
100%. And I think this is essentially one of the reasons why I always like to start with a breathwork session or generate because it resets you. And for example, Laurie and I just came from lunch and we just ate. And usually, like after I'm eating, I'm like, I think we all have this. We're a little bit more lethargic. We're like a little bit tired. It's like, oh, I kind of just want to like take a midday nap. And like now I feel really energized and it's kind of like it resets us as you said, and something that I really appreciate about breathwork and also kind of like you leading us through is the ability to drop into this state of flow because we need to be in this moment. We cannot think it was like, okay, what's tomorrow, what's like what about like this call that I had this morning or like the things that I have to do. And by just like breathing, I think it's one of the best ways that centers us in the present moment and just allows us to kind of play in the moment that is now. Because otherwise, it's just kind of like, I think otherwise we're just a little bit too much on autopilot. And by really focusing on our breathing, it allows us to take charge and it's like, hey, this is who I am, this is who I choose to be, and this is how I like to show up, and it really reminds us of that. So Vlad, I'm sorry that you missed it. We kind of just finished up the breath work, but I'm sure Lucas will like do many more, and like also um his community is all about breathwork. So Lucas, you can like briefly tell us about how you manage things in your community, and then I think we can kind of kick off the goal setting aspect and kind of like how we all kind of like go into the new year. So Lucas, how about you share on how you're doing breathwork in your community?
Yeah, thank you. So my community is named Masterworks because breath work is really, once you have the breath down, it will apply to everything else. So if you can master your breath, you can master every situation in life that you are in. So currently, I am repivoting my community a little bit. I'm changing things around. Earlier, it was just very broadly breath work, but in business, we pivot. And so now I'm targeting more so entrepreneurs who want to make a bigger impact in their business because the status of your business really the success of your business depends on the quality of your business decisions. And the quality of your business decisions depends on your state of flow, as you're saying, or of connection in the moment you make that decision. So I am helping business entrepreneurs essentially be able to regulate their emotional, physical, somatic, psychosomatic systems so that then they can they can optimize their decision making process. And this also ripples out into relationships and health. And so it's really hitting that key piece and seeing business as an extension of yourself, as a piece of your integrated whole, rather than just, one thing that you're doing. So this is really for people who see business as part of their lives rather than something separate from their life. So yes, the community is Masterworks currently repivoting, but I'll be back in a few weeks, and there's going to be a free challenge that's coming up to really dive deeply into how you can connect more with life through your breath.
Awesome. I love how holistic you kind of like take these approaches, because in the end, like all things are connected. And I think like in the end we all want to make better decisions, and I really like this aspect on how you kind of like pivoting. And I think this is a very smart move, especially kind of like being on school, because we all help each other. And I can see like this kind of aspect, like I'm in a lot of calls, and just having this at the beginning is just so refreshing. So with that, I think we're gonna kind of like get started with our session today to like go a little bit deeper into goal setting. And as a bit of an update, so I'm not sure like how recently you have checked out the community on the Game of Life, but also I've been pivoting a little bit since like December, and I've been working behind the scenes a little bit and kind of like really focusing on like, okay, who do I serve and how do I contribute towards the greater school community? And for that, I'd love to just show the current video that I have, and I think from there on we can then like really go into our goals for 25. So I'm gonna share my screen here, and do let me know if you have audio when I just
me
quickly
to
play
make
this. Do you have audio? Yes, no?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. Okay. So it's just going to be 3 minutes. Yeah, I literally recorded this earlier today. So this is like as fresh as it gets, and you're probably one of the first ones that get to see that. So yeah, I enjoy.
in the game of life, you will save thousands of hours and have more fun, because here we optimize for the state of flow, something that the traditional education system still hasn't figured out, but video games have absolutely mastered. Because if you gamify things to the aspect where they are not overwhelming and they are not boring, then you have this sweet spot where you feel your best and perform your best, where you're optimally challenged. And whatever you are doing, it just feels like a game. And I know how overwhelming it can be to organize a community, to run a team, to schedule social media content, as well as track sales. And it's a lot. And all of these different tools is something that you and your team have to learn. And this alone wastes a lot of time. And that is why we want to do things differently. And we have this gamified classroom that allows you to just work on the things that are most relevant to you. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show how this whole journey looks like in more detail. But whenever you're stuck, we also have weekly events with my team and me to make sure that you get the help and support that you need. And on top of that, we have monthly challenges that allow you to compete for legendary prizes. And all of that is based on the experiences that I've made over the past 5 years, on all the communities that I'm part of and I continue to learn from. So for example, we have the school mastermind, which is quite pricey. But as you can see, I'm at the top of the leaderboard, which means I've helped the most amount of people and I really understand their systems. And I make sure that the people in this community also have more fun and save time, because this is the ultimate value that I provide. And it's not just this community, it's also the synthesizers, the community leadership, the achieving greatness, and the copywriting. Like all of these communities have systems, and you need the right systems to really win on school. Because Max here, he actually won the school games in October, and I think he won it 4 times. But this was the highest new monthly recurring revenue, where he made 230,000. And in order to make that kind of money, and by the way, I think these are rookie numbers compared to what we're going to see in 25. You need to have a solid sales system, and this is something that I learned working for Masterplan, where one sales deal was worth 100K. You need to have a solid marketing strategy, which I did and worked on for 5 years, where I published content across all social media platforms, which, by the way, I would not recommend, but I learned a lot during this time. And you need to manage a team. You need to manage projects and all of these aspects that I've learned along the journey, including speaking on stage at a huge event.
We're a little bit too fast. I think the internet is struggling to keep up. Um, but yeah, I think we should be good now. Let's continue.
With thousands of people, being a learn guide for the teenagers there, making sure that they are optimally engaged and really in the state of flow. All of these aspects I put in this one single journey that allows you to go from discovering your mission all the way to essentially tracking your sales, managing your projects, and scheduling your marketing. And all of this journey is something that you get to unlock completely for free by just playing the game. And of course, you can also invest money to unlock these things more quickly, but that just means you're further along the journey. And I really want you to only spend the time to learn the things that are most relevant for you, to learn the things that will make the biggest possible impact. But I think everyone will benefit from discovering the mission or maybe revisiting that, because here I kind of like dress up all in white and introduce myself as your guide along this journey. And we have these different questions that you get to answer, and this is how you also introduce yourself underneath here. And we have a new post every quarter, because if you're really going to follow the system, then every quarter you're going to level up so much that people will not recognize you anymore, and you will have to reintroduce yourself because you've been growing so much. And this is ultimately the goal of the game of life, to help you level up, save time, and have more fun. So with that, I hope to see you inside. I'm super excited to start playing and learning with you. And yeah, in the end, just enjoy and have fun.
So yeah, you are kind of the first ones to see that, and for that I also want to give you a bit of an advantage, because starting today we are also having a challenge. It's a 30-day challenge that essentially helps you prepare for 25. Make sure that you're completely organized and you have all of the tools at your disposal to absolutely crush it. So starting today, I'm gonna make the post tomorrow, so you guys have a bit of a head start. We are gonna kind of like compete about who is at the top of the leaderboard, and the first 3 people get to join my paid community completely for free. So that's like a whole year. So I'm very excited to see how that is going. But today we kind of want to talk and really focus on what kind of goals that we have, because having the right tools and equipment is amazing, but we need, like, these are just means to get to the end, right? So I'm very curious what kind of goals you have for 25, what you want to accomplish, what you're working on. So yeah, I get to ultimately help you save fun, so you can focus more on the things that you do best, and then ultimately like have more fun. So Tim, you haven't said a lot today yet. How about you start us off and let us know what your goals are? I prefer to think of them as quests, because it's more of a, like, things we just get to work on, instead of just like, oh, goal, next thing. It's more like a milestone that we get to work towards. So Tim, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I have different quests I'm completing for 2025. One of them is I want to move out of my parents and move into like my ideal apartment and just have a new environment where I can work in, I can socialize, I can just be more independent. And another one I'm working on is with my career, is that I'm learning a lot with my job with video editing, and I'm realizing I'm really enjoying this skill, and I want to be able to do it full time and make a full time income from it. And this will help a lot as well to move out and support my the apartment, and also going to MVU in August in Amsterdam and meet all you guys. And another thing I'm working on is I want to work on my fashion. I want to change my style. Yeah. And next month I'm going to Florida to a retreat with
That's
my
exciting.
company. So it's going to be the first time I'm going abroad, like going to the Americas. First time I'm going to and it's going to be the longest flight, well, by myself.
Nice. It's gonna be fun.
Mhm.
Sounds like 2025 is really gonna be like a exciting year for you. And we have Aaron join us, but until Aaron is here, Vlad, how about what's up, Aaron? We're currently going through our quests for the year. And Vlad is about to share what he's working on for 25.
Cool.
Vlad, we don't hear you. Maybe it's me or
Aaron, also maybe if you can mute yourself. Great.
okay. Did you hear Vlad though? No, Vlad, I think something's up with your microphone. Maybe you can adjust this. Oh, my light just died, or one of them. Laurie, do you want to go next while Vlad is figuring out his mic?
I can go next. Yeah, I just wanted to say for Tim that I think the goals are great. I'm really excited about the fashion aspect because fashion can, like, your environment and especially the clothes that you have can also elevate your vibration and get you in a completely different mindset and get you a certain level of confidence. So I'm very excited for you to do that. In terms of my goals, so I don't know. Lucas and Vlad. So I'm Lucas's partner. I've been more on the back scene, so you haven't seen me yet. So yeah, just like a small introduction. In terms of my goals, I'm very much I feel like I'm free flowing this year a lot. I'm working as a social media manager on the side, so it's a part-time thing. I do content, I do meta ads and stuff, but essentially developing my craft more, building my own website that I can send to clients. And just trying to stay ahead of the AI game. So that's like another learning goal that I have. And in terms of my personal goals, it's I really want to do a solo trip in like Q4, so November, to Costa Rica. So I'm very much drawn to the tropical. So yeah, I think that that's going to be super fun. And of course, it goes hand in hand with financial goals because you have to have money to go there. So also like having a very nice, decent income so I can be very comfortable there.
Yeah, I love that. It's going to be fun, especially Costa Rica. I think it's a lot of fun there.
Yeah, 2025 is gonna be a good one. I could feel it in my bones. Yeah, this year, in terms of, I really want to like commit to my craft, to refining my craft, which right now it seems like it's, well, breath work, yes, but that I see more as a practice, but my craft being writing. So I really want to put out a couple pieces that I really feel proud of and have that. Really be like an authentic expression of my value here, of what I'm here to share. So I really want to, by the end of, I want to start a newsletter and have a biweekly newsletter go out. Financial, I mean, in terms of like community and school and financial also is like, I would want to have a successful school community for a free and a paid. Also, I am also working with my partner on her project. She has a online yoga community, and so I am actually planning the retreat. So we are going to Peru, to Machu Picchu for the first retreat for her community. So I'm planning that, and I'm just wishing that that will go very successfully. But that's definitely a big goal, that is successful on the business front, on the practical front, on the enjoyment and fulfillment front as well. Another goal for 2025 is really dialing in on my health. I have type 1 diabetes. I've had it for 20 years. And so it's just this constant process of like type 1 diabetes is not just, oh, you measuring how much carbs you eat and then giving yourself insulin. There's like 40 factors of sleep, exercise, how much stress you have, your diet. And so it's really dialing in, this holistic approach of really dialing in on all of these aspects and having that my blood glucose levels as a measure of how I'm doing on that front. So I really want to refine that. One of the tools that I'm going to be using for that is really um, hopping on and integrating into the AI wave, because that's coming, that's staying, and that's something that I really want to integrate into my workflows and have AI and technology work for me rather than really, outsourcing my attention to that and just becoming its, puppet, or just getting caught in that cycle. So really optimizing, like, also my computer, the constant storage problem of running out of storage. So coming up with systems for like my photos, my documents, my finances. So really it's the projects that I'm working on with the retreat, with school, with my breathwork coaching, coaching business. And also we have like a family hotel. That's another business. For my personal, it's really like my health, and the AI systems. So there's a lot there. And throughout it all, my guideline is to be smiling through it all and recognizing the blessings that are in every moment, in the joy, in the pain throughout it all, because it's all part of the process.
For sure, for sure. I love how like widespread you have your goals, and also like that your partner is having the yoga community. I think breathwork and yoga are just like they go hand in hand, and I've been like diving much deeper into the philosophy of yoga and kind of like the science behind that. So I'm sure we can have like a few more chats about that. So quite excited about that. Yeah, that's kind of like Riverside. I probably will switch to Zoom. I find Zoom a little bit more convenient. There's also a workflow where you can use Fathom with Zoom and kind of like puts the notes from the call directly into the Notion database, which I'm personally a huge fan on. So yeah, also like generally in terms of the organization, I think there are a lot of things coming. Also with AI, I think there are like 25 is going to be the year where like AI is going to connect to other things. At the moment, we're still very specialized with kind of like AI is really good at this one thing, like, okay, generating images or writing texts or kind of creating music even, but it's not really works cross-functional across these apps. And I think 25 is going to be the year for that. So we still have like 15 minutes, and
What are
since we
your
are,
goals?
yeah,
What are
I
your
was
goals,
about to
Lucas?
go into that. I
Okay,
was
good.
about to go into that. So I want to kind of like show on how I organize my goals. And this is also something that you guys can get started on. I'm just gonna send you the link for the Notion template. It is also part of the community, but I figured it's like, okay, you can also have this here. So this is currently the most up-to-date version, and it's essentially the version that I'm also using. So the one that is in the chat, you can just like try out and kind of like play around with yourself. And the way that I want to do things in the future is when you complete a session, you can just message me or Laurie, and then I'll unlock you the next thing. And this is essentially how the lessons are going to progress from now. But to show you my goals, I want to share my Notion. I think I have to share the entire screen, so we'll do that. And yeah, so this is essentially the template that you guys are gonna kind of, you can duplicate it. It's more or less the same aspect of the classroom. And this is currently on how things are looking on my side. So this may look a little bit overwhelming. Laurie doesn't like this kind of view. She much prefers having the gallery view. But for me, I really like having like everything in one aspect. And specifically the quests is something that I'm going to go deeper into. But this is essentially all these aspects. It's like, okay, what's my ultimate mission to level up education? My journey on like all of the experiences that I've gathered, people that I'm learning from, based on like different areas. So we kind of get to look into that more deeply as well. But as for the things that are happening in 25, I'm just going to open this up separately here. And I would actually appreciate some feedback on your guys' side, which view you prefer. Because here at the moment, we have a bit of a gallery view, and you see all of these different months. So here you see up until March. So for January, I kind of have these quests that I actually finished this yesterday. And then it kind of like disappears. So these are all the things that I'm currently working on. So I'm currently working on the gold rank waitlist. And then I'm going to move out of Berlin and then kind of like finish the classroom by Q1 and then maybe go to Croatia in April. The school games for Q2 in June. I have a live event in August. So this is one way to look at it. Here is a second way. So which one do you prefer of these? This is more of a timeline view.
I'm always for timeline views. I have to have a time frame, otherwise it doesn't make sense for me. Oh, so I vote for the calendar.
If we kind of zoom out of this whole thing, in Q1 of this year, it's mostly about the school games and focusing more on Notion. So we also have a Stanga in there. So I want to like make my yoga practice a little bit more accurate. Then in Q2, I want to learn more from Learn Life. It's a startup in Barcelona. Um, and then also kind of like see how the school games go in Q2. So we have this different flame here on like kind of how much effort and yeah, I would say sacrifice, but effort and sacrifice are always going hand in hand. But essentially, it's how difficult this kind of quest is. And you see Q2 and Q3 is very different because in Q3, I'm actually trying to win the school games. And for that, I'm thinking for July, I'm essentially back at home. I'm going to prepare the Holy Games, which is the live event that I host every year. Before that is Mind Valley University. And then I would also go to California afterwards to promote the school games in Q3 and then stay there and stay for the celebrations. And then in Q4, I also have Costa Rica and the Q4 school games, which are going to be much more chill. But essentially, this is how I break things down. And then I can kind of like also go in here and say, hey, this is like a quest. And then it essentially allows me to think of smaller tasks. So this is a bigger project that I get to work on. And I have the difficulty, I can check this off. And I feel like the Riverside is really taking up a lot of internet. But here we have, for example, now the tasks. So I can just add tasks and say, hey, for Q3, I probably have to um, go into like do a lot of outreach, right? And then I have to get on a lot of calls. And I could like break these things down further, but essentially it allows me to think of, okay, this is like a quest or project that I'm working on. What do I have to do in order to make this happen? And then kind of like connect this with dates as well. So I hope this wasn't like too overwhelming, I did kind of jump to level 5 now without showing you guys the other aspects of the level. But I hope that's still appreciated. And that's kind of like where how I organize my life so far, how I set my goals for 25. And yeah, I'm excited to continue working on the system and ultimately like help you all to save more time and have fun along the journey.
Sounds great. And yeah, I just wanted to say that for the chat, Vlad, your goal of 30 plus clients you wrote, it sounds awesome. Sounds great.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Where in the chat is this? I don't even see it. Oh, okay,
Uh,
now I see. Nice. Okay, cool. The goals for the year is to get 30 clients, but before they become my clients, I want to help them win with something specific that's important to them for the first month as a free trial. Okay, nice. This way, I'll build rapport and generate results for my client base, even though I already have proof. I'll be playing the long game to maximize retention. Yeah, I think the more you think about the long game and really make sure that you build up these relationships, that's really key to win, because I think we're not just here for like a quarter or a year, but like for multiple years. And I think if you really think about multiple years, then your reputation is everything. And by really having this reputation of giving first, is a really good one to have. Either depends on the daily or weekly overview. Loving it, and the visual factors when you're visualizing your goals. Yeah, I appreciate that. So again, like you can just get at it. It's part of the community. I'm excited for the challenge. I'll post the details tomorrow, but we kind of like set it from today for 30 days, so that's going to be fun. Right, you guys, I really appreciate it. This means a lot. Just kind of like having the sociability on my birthday. Since we are kind of all over the world, and it's very hard to get everyone together. So maybe next year we get to have a big celebration. That'd be super cool. To get together in one place. I always love these. I think this is ultimately the point. I appreciate that. That's the ultimate point of community, that we get to meet in person. And I think the software aspect with school and with Notion, and these are all just means to like help us connect at a deeper level and kind of help us get together, help us collaborate, help us like ultimately change the world and kind of like fix the education system, because yeah, it's kind of broken and we really have to do something about it. So all right, you guys, I appreciate you. I'm rooting for your goals in 25. I have a really good feeling about this. It's going to be like a really fun year, and we are gonna like achieve greatness together. So yeah, enjoy and have fun. Bye bye.